Welcome back to Map Making in Disney World, where I make a battle map from one of the rides within Walt Disney World. Today's map is Peter Pan's Flight from the Magic Kingdom. I'll be using Inkarnate for this build, with music by Tabletop Audio. You can also find links to this map in the description below. There's one with a grid and one without. Let's begin. This is one of 5 Peter Pan's flights from around the globe. I love how colorful this ride is, so let's put a layout down and begin tracing the overall outline. Once I have that, I'll delete that layout map and go ahead and color in the walkway outside the ride, and the roof of the show buildings and shops around the ride. Now to get to the good stuff, Captain Hook's ship. I'll make this by painting down wooden planks and placing assets around the edges to give it a 3D appearance. As I go along and place down assets, I can delete those layout lines. Then I'll go ahead and paint those iconic red and white striped sails. That's good for now. We'll come back later and fill out the rest. Moving on to the Darling Bedroom. This is the first part of the attraction you experience, and it showcases a quaint bedroom for the Darling children before your flying ship darts out the window. Great, now let's darken the room around the light to highlight that lamp. Now for the outside. Things are going to get darker in brightness from here on out. First, we fly over the street where small-scale buildings and cars guide us further into London. And in the backyard, a small doghouse and Nana, the dog. Perfect. Then you fly over London, where I'll paint directly on the bottom rail, a river, the darkness of night, and then some houses and streetlights. Around the room are 2D clouds, which help the rider feel they are very high up in the night sky. Then you fly past the moon, where you see Peter Pan and the Darling children silhouetted. So I'll go ahead and put down a moon and paint them on the top layer to appear in front of it. Now let's go back and make our ride vehicles. So here you'll see me paint red and white striped ships, just like Captain Hook's ship. But after I watched some more POV videos of the ride, I noticed they were different colors. So I'll change those and you'll see the new colorful ones at the end of this video. But for now I thought it would be neat for you to see how much goes into these maps, and sometimes it's never even seen. There we go, so I'll put the ride vehicles around, and then you'll start seeing me paint those stripes. Now I was able to get the TikTok croc and water by painting black on the top layer over the crocodile asset. Perfect. Then it felt right to work more on the queue line. This meant painting the ground, laying down railings, and putting on those iconic shields you see when you first enter the attraction. This is also a good time to say I was able to get assets not in Inkarnate from Forgotten Adventures. They have a treasure trove of free assets you can use. Also, you're seeing clips of this ride thanks to Sharp Productions on YouTube, so I'll make sure to include links to both of those creators in the description below. Check them out. Did you know that when this attraction first opened in Disneyland in 1955, it didn't have the famous characters from the 1953 movie? It was only after a loud demand that Disneyland refurbished the ride by placing in Peter Pan, Captain Hook, and the rest of the characters. The current wait time for Peter Pan's flight on the time of this recording is 50 minutes, so go get in line. Now let's jump back to that queue line. The riders walk through the darling bedroom before even getting on the ride, so I'll duplicate that bedroom from before. Afterwards, towards the end, I'll go back and make sure they use the same assets to keep a unifying look. But for now, I'll just drop down some toys and get that dim lighting down. I decided to keep the roofing going all around the outside, just to keep that outside facade I love to look at so much. This will cut off part of the line, but when I lay down all of the ropes, I think it will be self-explanatory and your players will know where to go. The entire queue line was refurbished in 2015 to include interactive elements. For this inner hallway, I'll place down large paintings along the wall. I really do enjoy making the queue lines for these rides for these maps because they add a deep layer of theming that the players can really experience as they're running through for battle or for a mission. For example, this section includes windows from the outside showing the father and mother silhouetted from within, and also the same doghouse and dog Nana we see on the ride. These sets of steps and platforms are used in the ride for maintenance to be performed on elements higher up. But for the sake of it being a battle map, they double as some high ground for your ranged players to get a good view of enemies. These dark rooms employ a lot of fluorescent lighting, so when I draw water or land inside, I want to really make it glow with bright colors. Take this water blue, for example. I want to make it look like it's almost glowing. Now for these animatronics, I couldn't find the exact characters from the ride, but I did have a lot of pirates left over from when I made the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and I found they worked pretty well. For this section, this was probably the most fun to do. I decided just to paint the land on, not put down any assets. This included volcanoes, Captain Hook's ship, a little mini version, a spot for the Lost Boys, a mermaid lagoon, and teepees with Native Americans. I will say recently this month of this recording, this section of the ride was updated with a new scene. However, you're just going to see the old scene. There we go. And there you have it, Peter Pan's Flight, with new colorful ride vehicles, the outside tent theming, the queue line with portrait hallway and darling bedroom, the darling bedroom inside the ride, the backyard with Nana and London Street, the sky above London. Second star to the right and straight on till morning with the Lost Boys, mermaids, and Native Americans. And Captain Hook's ship with Tick-Tock Croc, Skull Rock, Fling Smee, and Hook's tragic ending. If you've enjoyed watching this map being made, consider hitting that subscribe and like button for more map making content. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.